Hey, how are you? Who's here? Oh, we got Coin Collecting Ohio and Ant is here. Outstanding. Ant, I need your email address if you would. I gotta send you a link. That'd be handy. All right. I'm not really set up for a live show, but well, we're gonna do it anyway. How about that? I was going through over here where I sort out my roles into dates, and I can grab just one date at a time and go through, a sack of just one date. Um, and I'm trying to find a particular. I was trying to find 1972, and came across 1974, and another 74, and another 74, and another small batch of 74. Okay, uh, kind of got ahead of myself. So I got all these different sacks I got to sort out, and I'm thinking, this is a perfect opportunity to show off some coins and talk about them. Where is it? I got them. They should be right here. What do you got? 1974. A fairly innocuous date, really. But here we have a great example of a design variety, which you can find in pocket change. Okay, watch this one. You see how wide and thick and fat those numbers are? I got another one over here. And see how thin and narrow and neat and cute those numbers are. I'm going to put these one on top of the other. And we should be able to compare them side by side as best we can with. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. As best we can. All right. Now, I would consider this to be a doorway, a gateway into understanding what are these varieties that everybody's talking about. What's that all about? Let me fix that camera just a bit. And here we go. Um, it's the same darn coin. It's worth a penny, right? You find them in circulation. They're worth a penny, right? They're not special as far as cost or price or value. They're just, well, they're just out there. But you don't get a lot of people talking about these. Honestly, you got the Whitman albums and the Dansko albums, and they'll have slots for a 1960 large date and small date. They have slots for a 1982 large date and small date. And honestly, I think 1974 ought to be in there as well because they can be found. They're not standing out because they're pretty much equal amounts, right? There's not one of them that's more scarce or rare or valuable. Sorry for late response. You're driving. Don't coin roll hunt and drive. We've got a live chat over here for those of you who are watching after the fact. Um, I thought we'd just get into this. We see people talking about double dies, talking about RPMs, talking about valuable and rare and one of a kind and unique and errors and all this crazy stuff. And that's out there. But here's one to use as a doorway into that sort of a realm, the realm of coins that are kind of different. And we have a large and a small date. Now in 74, you have a large and small date, the same sort of issue you're looking at here, using the Phillies, the Denvers, and the San Francisco. But in San Francisco, it's only the business strikes. The proofs, well, that's a different realm altogether. They're all going to be large date. All right. But the neat thing about the proofs, there's two different mint marks that were used that year. So if you want a full set of 1974, you'd have to have the large and small date for PED and S, and the two mint marks for the proofs, which is now, we got 8 coins. Huh, this is getting kind of complex. Used to be, back in the day, we only needed the darn P, the D, and the S, and the proof if you felt like it. Okay, well, I thought I'd go through this and see if we can find more of these. And you can. They're about 50-50 out there. And there may be some geographic differences, but after, what are we talking, 45 years? Yeah, they're pretty well mingled out there in the circulation realm. And I just pull some up. And let's see if we can identify them. There we go. See the letters? Are they fat or are they kind of lean? Okay, that's a small date. Here's that sample we had over here. We have a large date. Just go through and compare them side by side because you're going to eventually have either the same one or different. And if they're different, one is large and one is small, or one is thin and one is thick. Kind of neat. But if they're the same, well, they're going to look the same. There you go. There, they're the same. I don't see any difference. Well, it's because you have the same darn one. Well, if you got enough of them, if you got, say, 20 or 30 1974s, I can guarantee you're going to find a difference in the large and the small date. It's not just the numbers, okay? We have more diagnostics out there. The letters are a little bit thicker, okay? That's the thick on the right, and the thin on the left, or it's the, I'm going to go backwards, large date over here on under me, small date on the other side. Let's look at the letters up here. This kind of stands out more. You can see subtle differences. Is that the large or the small? That's large, okay. Very subtle differences in the letters up at the top. That W's got some doo-doo in it. Let me get a different one. And put these side by side. You ready? There we go. You see the sharpness of the little tight spots. Very subtle differences. You're going to notice it almost exclusively on the date. That's where it really jumps out. Right? I mean, you look at that 9, you're thinking, that's got to be a double die. No, it's just a large date. It's a thicker design. So you have a design variety. There's nothing special about the way the coin is made or the die. The die is perfectly normal, but it was a slightly different design. That's what we're talking about here. Okay, that's a large. That's a small. I'll keep those separate, and we can find them. Let's go through there. There's a large. See that big fat 9? It's almost unmistakable when you get to comparing it. Also, look at the 4. Okay, that's the same one. Let me get 2 of these again side by side. We have the large is on the bottom. Okay, another diagnostic is to look at the 4. And if I can make this even with my ham fists, man, it was so much easier when I was younger. A little more dexterous than I am now. Let's put those 4s close together. Okay, on the large date, you have a lower slope. So the 4 is wider because that slope coming down, let's see, it'll be this way. It's not as sharp at an angle, so since it's lower, it's kind of wider, comes out with more reach. Whereas the small date, the one on top, it's a little sharper roof, right? It's a bit more of a pitch. And so, well, being a bit more of a pitch, it's not as wide this way. There's a neat diagnostic. So a large date has a wide 4. Okay, well, they're out there. This is an entry into these die varieties. It really, we haven't talked much about how do you get into the hobby? How do you get involved in die variety hunting? Honestly, 1982, you got a large and small date there as well. Let's look at those. And people hunt those down. I mean, like machines, hoping to find that, that purple unicorn, the 1982 D small date copper. Oh, there are 2, by the way, that have been discovered because they're worth millions. Well, they're not really worth millions. The 2 that have sold have gone for, let's see, a little over 10,000 and a little over 18,000. Well, that's still pretty good money for a penny found in common pocket change. All right, let's pull these out real quick. I can show you another design variety. Right, it's not a problem with the die. It's not doubled. It's not special in any way, but there's a difference in the design. Now, in 1982, excuse me, I've got this cold and I got to blow my nose often. Thank you for bearing with me. In 1982, you had, well, they changed from the copper planchet because, during production, the price of copper went kind of spiked, and it doesn't make sense to make a penny when it costs you 3 cents to make it. So they switched to a zinc planchet, right? Which is a zinc core plated with copper, and they're produced by Jordan Zinc down in West Virginia. The mint doesn't make these planchets for the pennies now. They used to make them when it was an alloy. They just punch them out of a strip. They still do with the, the nickels, the dimes, the quarters. But when they went to the zinc planchet, they started having troubles, right? The dies, well, they made those the same darn way, You know, this is an impulse move. They had to do it all of a sudden. And what was happening because of the hardness of the zinc, these new zinc planchets, the dies were taking a pounding, right? They're getting worn faster. They're cracking. You can find 1982s with die cracks all over the place. 1983, same thing. Because, well, they were asking more out of the dies than was expected because of the new hardness of the planchet. Now, the original design is right here, right? 1982, there it is. And you see it's kind of big, not particularly decorative. It's kind of frumpy, a little, he could use like, you know, a 20-mile walk. Okay. Now, pay particular attention to the two. To account for this new wear and try to, an attempt to try to reduce the damage on these dies that was occurring, they changed the design. Not a whole lot. It's subtle, very tiny little changes. And you have effectively a large date and a small date. I got a toothpick right here. Dun, dun, dun. Dude, this is the key to the whole operation, is a big jar of toothpicks. Okay, let's look at this. 1982, large date. You'll see it on the bottom, right? The number's a little thicker. Look at the 8. The thickness of the top of the 8 compared to the small date on the left, right? See how much more delicate the small date is? Check out the 2. Over here looks like a swan, right? Looks like a big swan with his neck and his head. If you ever seen a swan or goose, okay? Check out the tail. I need a line. Let's see. Here's a sharp piece of paper. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can make this happen. Let's draw a line straight down from the side of the upper 2. Okay, and you're going to find that the tail of the 2 goes past the upper curve of the 2. But on the small date, if I draw a line right here, come on. Oh, this is so hard. You'll find that the top of the 2 and the bottom of the 2, they're in a line. Over here, and the other one, that tail sticks way out. Kind of neat. Now check out another diagnostic. The distance between the bottom of the 2, right, to the rim. I can fit another number in there. Over here, it's a lot closer. Of course, it sticks out so much further, right? And it's a bigger piece anyway. Less distance. This is your large date on the bottom. See the size of the 8? That kind of gives it away. The shape of the 2 kind of gives it away. But they changed other aspects on this design. Let's look at Liberty. Small date is on the top. Large date. Small date. Okay. See how delicate these letters are. And this was, well, supposed to help reduce the breakage on the dies. And it helped to some degree, but they continued for a few years. It took a while for the dies to be improved and all the cracks to disappear, but you still get cracks all the time. But check out the eye in particular. Nice, straight, lean, pretty, looks like a toothpick. Okay, that's a toothpick. Looks like a tiny little toothpick. Whereas this eye, on the large date, dude, it's not even straight. You get in there and take a look. Let's see if we can get in there and take a look. It's almost bigger at the top. And you're going to find that, especially when the die starts to wear out, that eye in Liberty kind of broadens. Okay, let's look at, let me move this penny. Let's zoom back out here. Let's look at the other letters here. All right, in. Ready? Where's in? Same sort of thing. Big fat letters, little tiny neat letters. So we got all kinds of diagnostics on small date versus large date. The thickness of the letters, right? The size of the numbers, the distance between the 2 and the rim, the shape of the 2. Does it have this gentle curve, or is it like, you know, a swan looking at you? Okay. Well, these are design varieties. There's die varieties where there's a change in the die, right? Maybe it has an RPM on there, or it's been doubled, or even tripled. There's that those things out there. Maybe there's a clash going on, or a cud, or a chip, or a die break. That would be a die variety. This is a design variety. Now, 1982, you have another type out there because some of these were done on copper, right? Typically the large date, and some were made on zinc, which is going to be typically the small date. But there's some overlap, right? Especially on Denver. No, not especially on Denver. They had to change and stop making the 1982D small date copper. They didn't make any of those. Well, not intentionally. But now you have to test for the different metals. Oh my God, give me a break. You've got to have 7, well, if you count the proof, you've got to have 8 different pennies just for 1982, right? Does that make sense at all? Yeah, it does, I guess. There's P and D, copper and zinc, large and small date, plus the proof. And if you can come up with an 82D small date in copper, you're doing pretty good. All right. Well, the Dansko albums and the Big Whitman albums, they've got slots for such things as the 1982 small and large date. They've got slots for the 1960 P and D large and small date. Well, this one's overlooked. It's just ignored. And it's the 1974 small and large date. There we go. Small date on the right, large date on the top. And you have this extra thickness in the letters. You have the difference in the slope on the 4. And to some degree, much more subtle, some slight changes in the letters. Now, if you can pick out these large and small dates on the 1974 and on the 1982 and in the 1960, you got the start. You got the doorway kicked open on being able to decide, is this a design variety, right? But if you're paying attention to that level of detail, you're ready for the next step of going after RPMs, double dives, chips, cuds, all those other die varieties that are out there. Yeah, they're slick. The pennies, you're going to find the most varieties on because they made the most coins. I want to catch up on chat. Hey, I see Linda Wallace has joined us. There's Dave Carlisle. God love you. Gums O'Hara, where have you been? He's been on vacation or something. Hit that like button when you come in. I see Bill Betts, Wild Bill, and Stacks and stuff. If it costs 3 cents to make a penny, they should just do away with the penny and make it a 3-cent piece. That'd be great, but you have inflationary components, right? The copper, the materials, the equipment, the labor, the transportation. These are inflationary. But on the penny, well, on all coinage, you got a fixed face value. Well, at some point, the cost of production of all coins must exceed face value. Well, the penny, you figure that's going to be first because it's got the smallest face value. It's transportation that's really kicking the penny's butt. And what is it? Something like 2/3 of all coins produced are pennies. You get rid of the pennies, you save a whole lot of money. Canada has done away with their cent. And what? They just said round up or round down. Go with it. You win this time, you lose. Just work it out. And they're doing fine up there. They haven't had a social breakdown. The Bahamas is following suit. They're getting rid of their penny. All right. Well, folks, keep an eye out for these things. I'm going to go through a few more and see if we can find a few more of each. Because if you want a full collection, you want to complete your collection of Lincoln cents, makes sense to gather up the small or large date and the best you can find of each. There's a large date. There's a small date, just like that. Okay, there's a large, there's a small. Let's go through some more. I got the large on the right. Give me a pen because I won't remember it. I got the large. I'll draw an arrow. And we got the small. There, okay. What do you got here? See the lean little letters? I think the 9 is the easy one to pick up on. That's really the easiest because that thick, wide 9 jumps right at you. That's a small. Loving these coin class videos. You'll find in the description below this video a link to the playlist. And I can actually pull that up, I think. Let me see. Give me just one moment. Let's see. There's KTube. That's what I call it. And here's playlists. Ta-da! Let's go over here to a screenshot. There's a screenshot. Okay, if you click on my name, it'll take you here. Okay, this is what we're doing right now, this year, getting started with design varieties. Here's a coin class we did, when was that? Seems like forever ago. That was yesterday. What should I hoard? But if you come up here and click on playlists, there you go. Look, you get all kinds of playlists. Stuff I like, chainmail, big show winners, coins in history, right? And they're not necessarily all mine either. Here's Hoogie with a video in there. This is just for laughs, if you want to waste your time on that. Coin collector education. Here's some stuff to subscribe to. Here's more about just varieties. And over here on the far right, whoa, wait a, what? Oh, jeez, what happened?
Tyler with Grammarly
Stop.
is writing an
Oh man, what'd I do? Okay, here's coin class. You can view the full playlist, or just hit the play all button. How many we got? We got 42 videos in here so far, and they go for, I mean, what, 45 minutes, an hour and a half. I think this show is more of a lab. They tend to be more. I do a script and action outline, and you know, take some time to put these things together. Here's more information, for example, on just the 1982 large and small dates. All right, and what's that one? Half an hour. Yeah, they're good stuff, really. Get in there and check them out and learn something. That's the whole idea. Okay, let me hit the pause on this. Let's see if we can get back home. There we go. Yeah, it's in there. And if there's a subject you like, because otherwise I'll just find something to talk about myself. If there's a subject you like to see discussed in depth, let me know, and I'll try to make that a priority. There you go. Here's a small date. What? You mean you can just find these in Pocket Change? Yep, there's a small. That seems to be a small. Remember, you got a whole bunch of these in front of you, so just hold one to the next. There's a 74D. Ooh, we need a D. All right, is that large or small? Well, I've got these over here. What's this one? That's a 1982. Okay, move that out of the way. What's this one? This might be in the wrong spot. That's a small date. Aha! You see, you put them side by side and you say, are they the same or are they different? And if they're different, you can tell right away. Large over here, small over there. But now I've got the 74D large date. All right, I need a piece of paper so I don't throw that away. Where's my tuna can? A little can of tuna I try to keep full of paper, but dude, these things get away from me. Okay, D large. All right, we just go through and see what we get up. We need to find some S's. Oh, look, we got one right there. 1974 S with a skinny little 7, a skinny little 9. So that's a small S. Yep. You want to put together a complete collection? Get one of everything. That means not just a 74S, but the 74S large and the 74S small. And that was a small. There. Geez, they stopped making the S mints for circulation back in 74, so it's really hard to get them, really. 74 small. It's not that they disappeared or anything. Well, okay, sometimes they get chewed up, rim racks, thrown in a toolbox, left on the back of a truck and destroyed. That appears to be issues. Okay, let's look at the 4, because the 7 looks kind of narrow, but the 9, well, we got a mark. We got a train track going through it. So I'm thinking that's a small date. Let's look at the 4 and verify that one, because it looks like the 7's kind of narrow. There we go. There's your answer. That is a small date, but this bit of damage on the 9 has flattened it out, has damaged it, so it appears to be one of these. See that? But note the 4. Note the difference in the 4. This one's kind of stubby. This one's kind of extended. And the 7 is a lot wider. See that? Whereas this 9 is kind of fat. This one's kind of fat, but it's because of damage. So we put that with that and kick this over here. There's another skinny. Skinny. Everything was skinny back in the 70s. 1974D. Aha. Now we got a second 1974D. We hold them up side by side. There we go. Now the mint mark is added separately, right? So the mint mark has its own style, which is separate and distinct from what you see in the coin. So the 1974 proof, you have two different mint marks were used in 1974 on the proofs. So you have a tall S, and you have the other one, which is the trumpet tail used back in the 40s and 50s. They brought that back to life. Kind of neat. Okay, so we got a 74 large date and a D small date. There. So I got the complete set of PDS in small date. Okay, that is small date. I'm getting a lot more smalls, it looks like. That's a small. I'll try to catch up on chat in a bit. 74, that's a small. Eddie's here. Good morning. Jeff Dunn's here. Hit that like button until it turns blue. Or hit the dislike. They're all the same, really. Skinny. Should we call it a 74 skinny? Oh, that's kind of fat. That's a big fat knobby 74. So that's a large date. All right. Now getting the best one you possibly can is always the trick. Because in circulation, this is kind of what you're looking for on, 45-year-old pennies. Yep. They don't circulate the way they used to. Coinage tends to sit around a whole lot more. People, geez, it's a penny. You're going to walk around with a pile full of pennies. You still get the old lady at the supermarket, right? Her total is $6.93, and she's got to dig through her little purse and find 93 cents and count it out. And it takes like 14 minutes. Oh my God. The poor girl at the counter is thinking, I have to get my numbers up. Okay, that's a small. Looking at the 4. Okay, here's a large. Let's compare the 4s. This is a small on the bottom. Here's a more shiny one. I wouldn't call it a shiner, it's just more shiny. Probably in a fountain or something. And that looks like a large. That's a large. Big fat 9, big fat 7, stumpy little 4. Now I have to go back through all my Lincoln cents and look at your 74s. Yeah, you probably already have a small or a large at home if you have 74s. If you got a whole bunch of 74s, yeah, you can get them all, no problem at all. There's a large. We've got the 74 and P and D in large, and we got the P, D, and S in small. Now I get my rolls. I get my box. I go to the bank mostly in December and January, right? I call it the Christmas effect, and that's this time of the year. People go through the house, pull up their change, and they roll it up and send it back to the bank. That's a 1974D, and that's a large date. So we got 2 of those now. And they, they're getting ready for Christmas presents and stuff for the kids. There's a 74D small date, and we get 2 of those. You notice I get mostly P's over here. I'm in Florida, East Coast. I'm going to have mostly P's. That's a small with some issues. This has got crud all over it. Oh, I'm not even going to look. And well, they start digging, right? Get that change from your sock drawer. Maybe somebody kept out a bicentennial quarter or something. Just stuck it in the sock drawer because it looked different. Well, they got this weird penny, and they keep it because it's weird for whatever reason. What was that? That's a small date, so we got 3 of those. And this time of the year, your customer wrapped rolls. That's a small. You have a higher tendency to get odd things. Coins with problems, like this one's got that peanut shell looking patina on it. That's a small date. You get them, they're frigged up. People don't know what's wrong with the coin, but they keep it because it's odd. So you tend to get some more damaged coins. That's a skinny, that's a small date. We got 4 of those. But you also get the wheat pennies, right? You get Canadian pennies. You get all these different pennies you haven't seen in, a long time because people are saving them. That's a small date. We got 5 now. And every now and then they get rid of those coins they had since Uncle Ralph passed away. Of course, Uncle Ralph was a collector, and those old coins he had are like Barbara halves. 74D large date. We got 3 of those now. Skinny. So I'm getting mostly 74P small dates, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Philly large and 3D. This is just wrecked. You're not going to tell on this unless you look at the other elements, but this is pretty screwed up over here. Let's try up here. What? No. Oh, those screwed up pieces, they're tough. That's a skinny. What you got there? A fatty. Fatty 2x4. Can't get through the kitchen door. Fat. So we got about an equal number of D's. Ooh, good. It's a 74 large date. S. There, I got a full set of P, D, and S for large and small. And I didn't even get into the bigger bag. There we go. 74 skinny Imperial labels. Head bag brought you peach. God love you. I don't understand the head and shopping bag part. I don't speak. Have you noticed how the language is getting more towards what the Egyptians used? Hieroglyphics. Man, I got to keep up with that. I just learned cursive. What you got there? That's a large date 74. Here's one that's just got crud on it. That's a skinny. What's that one? That's a skinny. All right. If you got 2 coins you can compare, you can decide if they're the same. Okay, you're undecided. But if they're different, you can easily pick out large and small. So you go through a dozen of these, and I guarantee you'll have examples of both. Okay, that's a flattened out 9, making it look fat, but the 7 is skinny, and the slope on the 4 is tight. Well, that's that bag. Now I got all these coins. Which one is the best? Okay, so I got the 74 Ds, and okay, Ike, you gotta go. I like Ike, but he's in the way. Move these. Okay, these are 74 Ds. These are all the large. So now I would go through and pick out which is the best out of all these. And I'll probably say this one for whatever reason. But I want to look at the backs. If they get crud on them, that's covered with doo-doo. Oh, we'll kick that out first. What is that? Let's look at the doo-doo. Oh, ooh, oh God, what is that? Do you see a guinea pig? Does anybody see a guinea pig? Gosh, one of them Rorschach pennies. Okay, so you pick out your best, and then you can do it again later. Repeat the whole exercise and see if the best one you get from that batch is better than the best one you kept. Anyway, back to the Christmas effect. People go through, they get all the change in the house, they send it back to the bank, right? So the bank at this time of the year, December and January, has more stuff, more weird stuff. And if you're looking for varieties, that look like a pug? Linda sees a pug. Okay, we'll leave it there and you can tell me what you see. So you get more varieties at this time of the year. And I call it the Christmas effect. In January, they keep it up because they got to pay their credit card bills from all the stuff they got for their precious little snowflake last month. I'm not up here. I hope you're feeling better. I still have a sniffle, but I got a bunch of paper towels now, and yeah, yeah, I still got a lot of sniffling going on. Uh, yeah, what do you do? It's the cold and flu season. What do you see there? Do you think it's a pug or more like a guinea pig? Let's try turning it. Maybe it'll. It's a dancing pug. Doop, 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 doop. You see a poodle? Boom, past poodle. There you go. So what I do is get, I'll get 10 to 12 boxes this time of the year. I'll make my rounds in town, hit every single bank. Hey, look, my nephews are in town. Can I get a box of pennies for Christmas gifts? Because I'm going to fill up a coffee. Oh, here you go. No problem. You tell them it's like a Christmas gift or gag for the kids, and they will throw their pennies at you, right? But if I go into my regular bank where that one teller is, yeah, can I get 6 rolls of pennies? We need those for our commercial customers. Stop it. You tell them it's for the kids, though. You get it. You can walk out of there with like a hand truck loaded up. Man, you break your back loading them into the truck. Jessica Poulin is here. Good to see you, Jessica. A fat poodle? Let's look at that again. There it is. There's a fat poodle. And what's this? Doo-doo. Where's the doo-doo on your coins come from? Now you know. It's from the poodle. Yeah. Then I spend my time, I'll sort them. I'm boiling spaghetti or making rice, right? I want to pay attention to the kitchen. I got a table, here's the kitchen over here. Over here I got this dining table, and it's effectively the coin sorting table, because I actually have dinner right here and watch TV and look at you folks. And I just sort coins there. First I'll take them, I'll open them up, I pick out the ones that jump out, right? So I got a cup, there you go. And this one is just chips. I got a cup, and anything funny or weird or different or strange or wicked valuable, I throw in the cup. If it really stands out, I might stop and bring it over to this table and inspect it. But that's my initial sort, and I break them into dates, right? Now actually I break them into decades. Anything 60s and earlier, 70s, 80s, 90s, zeros, and then all the shield cents go together. Right, so I got 7 cups. A cup gets full, I dump it in a Ziploc bag, throw it up on the shelf. And I go through all the boxes that way. It takes, a couple of months. But usually by, February, March, I've gone through all the rolls. I got a whole bunch of really good stuff, and I, pick through that. And then I'll go back because I got to eat again the next day. So I'm in there cooking, or maybe I'm filling the tub or waiting for the coffee to be made. And I'll take those bags that I've sorted into decades, right? I'll grab the bag of 60s and split those into 10 dates. And I end up with, one bag of all the same darn date. Good. Then I'll go back through, once they're all done, and I'll pick out, say, the 99s, the 2000s, the 98s, and I'll look for whams and die varieties on that particular year. But the advantage is I have all the same date in front of me, right? This one's all 1974. So I can pick out, hey, that looks funny. Is it supposed to look that way? I've got another example right here beside me. Here, should it look like that? Oh, that's doo-doo. Should it look like that? Is this the way it should look? Or should it look like that? Wait a minute. These look different for whatever reason. In this case, the large and small date. Huh. Now I know I'm onto something. Okay, that's the S, that's the D. But having all the same date in front of you works out great, because you're going to go through and you're going to see things that maybe you didn't notice before. Whoa, get up here. About that particular design. Is this bow tie supposed to look like that? I thought it didn't have a split on the right side. Huh? Well, you can simply grab another one, and you've got the same darn date right there, and you say, oh, okay, it is the same. It is identical. But it's when you have one that's a little different, huh, that's funny. And whenever you say to yourself, huh, that's funny, that's a red flag. You have something that's different somehow for whatever reason. And that's where you give it more study, more investigation, more start looking at it real hard, right? And you check things like the FG. You look for, the floating roofs, right? You look to see all the letters are straight and right and neat, and then you get right into it, right? And you look in close at the points that don't meet at a 90 degree. You like to see those points that are sharp, like the tips of the S, right? If you get a double die and you've got a split, you're going to see it there real easy. Over here at the R, it's going to jump out. On the FG, because these are small little details. If you get a chance, you need to check out my error video. I'll be sure to check that out. God love you. There's Jessica Poulin. She comes in here every now and again. Okay. On the lower letters, look at the C right there. On the front, give close attention around the edges of the coin, which would be your date, your letters, right up here. The R is a great one to look for. Try to give it a good sharp look at a few points, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So you get a better sampling. And also look in the center, and the bow tie on the penny shows up great. Look at that ear in particular. That's where you're going to pick up. That's when I find the most pickup points. P-U-P. You'll see that in a lot of literature. Pickup point is what it is. And you say, aha, that's a doubled ear on this 1984. Or in the back, you'll say, geez, that's funny. The letters, right, inside the U, it's really stocky and comes to a point. What's going on? Or inside the circle of the O comes to a point instead of being round. Those are your red flags, and then you jump up and say, man, I think I found something. And before you grab your camera, take a blurry photo and post it all over Facebook and say to the whole world, what do you think? Set it aside until you can describe it more fully and decide for yourself, what is that coin? Honestly, you'll have bags of this stuff. You got a dozen sacks of pennies, you're gonna fill bags of coins. But that's where it starts. This is the entry. If you can tell the difference between a large and a small date, and all you're doing is comparing them side by side, yes, then you have what it takes to move on to the next level and start looking for the minutia, the really tiny stuff, the repunched mint marks. And they're out there. Just start big and get tighter and tighter, and you'll get more information as you go. Mike Kittle's here. Good to see you. And Ida showed up. Well, it's about time, Ida. Yeah, that's real nice what you did for the fellow over there on Cajun's channel. That's a heck of a thing. They had a benefit auction. Man, they raise a lot. It's tough. Life is. Wouldn't it be nice to have this year behind you? I always say that every year. There was one year it was pretty good. I forget which one that was. That's probably why it was such a good year. All right, folks, we're going to finish up right here. And there's something to look for is large and small date, P, D, and S on your business strikes on 1974. You've got large and small dates on 1982, and you can tell the difference there. Right? You can weigh these and decide, is it copper or is it zinc? Because you got large and small date in copper and zinc, P and D. Sort them all out. If you find 7 varieties, you got them all. If you find 8, you might have something. I've been drinking coffee. I need a hall pass real bad. Hall pass will be passed out in 10 minutes. There we go. Look, we got the coin Q&A coming up. What day is this? Is it Thursday? Yeah, okay, it's Wednesday. A coin Q&A. I've got to find out what channel we're hosting it on. I think it's between me and Shay this week. We got to work out exactly the details there, but well, we took Thanksgiving off. We usually have this on every Thursday, and we'll be back and better than ever. So get your coin questions and photos ready. What's the difference between bronze and copper? Okay, copper is composed of copper. Bronze is what our coins are made out of, or what they used to be made out of, right? Bronze is a combination of copper plus tin plus zinc, right? You have French bronze is copper plus 5% tin. No, wait, excuse me. 3% zinc and 2% tin. Take away the tin, it's, you know, it's more of a brassy is what we have. But you're going to find the weight is going to be different. The old, what we call copper, which is actually kind of a bronze, they weigh 3.11. Whereas the new zinc, you know, on these, the Zinkins, and I probably don't have one in front of me because both of these are copper, they weigh 2.5 grams. So if you get a decent scale, here we go, here's a decent scale. These are fairly inexpensive. I got one left, I think. All right, let's see. You can measure your coins. Have it on a flat surface, because if it's at an angle or cocked, like on a ledge, or you have one corner, you have one corner, you know, with a coin under it, you're going to get a false reading. So have it on a flat, level surface. All right. Turn the darn thing on. All right. We should say 0 here in just a minute. There it is. We have a polarizing effect when we're looking at a digital display through a digital camera, and it kind of makes it hard to see the darn digits. Okay, but these things should be 3.11. That's the idea. But there's a little tolerance in there of 0.13 grams. So if you want an accurate reading, you want to have 2 decimal points. There's my decimal is here. I've got 2 digits on the other side of the decimal. And that's good accuracy. That is 3.09. It should be 3.11, 3.07. Okay. Let it rest for just a few moments before you take your reading. All right. Nickels are easy, 5 grams. Put a dozen nickels on there, right? You should get an average of 5 grams for all of them. And that'll tell you, is your scale right or wrong? And these should have calibration instructions right on the lid. These are really handy things, right? Tells you how to use it. Takes, what, 2 AA batteries. You get them out of the remote control. You gonna watch this football game all night, honey? Yeah. Give me that remote. I need the batteries to put in my scale. And you load up your scale. Okay. So zinc is 2.5, but it has a tolerance of 0.1, right? So if you're anywhere from 2.4 to 2.6, that's close enough for government work. Remember, these are government people working these machines. There you go. What's that? Let it rest. Let's see if I can get that to show up a little better. Ah, there we go. I'll pull it off at a sharp angle. I'll get it. What happens if I bring that over here? That works. So 3.01 copper, and more particularly brass. They haven't been pure copper since 1856. The large cents, those were 100% copper. Right? They changed it in 1856 with the Flying Eagle cent, which was actually copper nickel. In 1864, the 2-center came out, and they changed the Indian cent from the copper nickel to the bronze. And so there, we've continued with the 95% copper, 3% zinc, and 2% tin up until 1964. Of course, we had that bit in 1943 with the steel penny, but that's a different issue. In 63, they started making them without the tin. So it's 95% copper, 5% zinc. What's this one going to be? A little heavy. No? Okay, 3.1. Yeah. See, it changes because this is vibrating is what happens when you drop something on it. So to get a more accurate reading, just set it on gently. 3.14. You can measure the same coin 5 times, and it should be real close, within 0.01. Because this thing will round up and down just a slight bit. 3.13, same penny. Let's take it off and weigh it again. 3.13. 3.12. 3.12. 3.13. So it's real close. You can get more precise equipment if you need more precise equipment. As long as you can measure it a few times and probably get the same digit 4 times, you're going to be fine. These scales run you, $6, $8, depending on where you get them. But try to get these with that second decimal, because if I'm measuring a 3.1, it's not really accurate enough for some of the things I want to check. When you get into silver, right, you got half a gram separate. Let me pull that image up. Where's that? Let me find that. Okay, let's see. I think it's in here. Diagnostics. Yep. No, no, not there. Let me find this. There it is. Diagnostic manual. Here we go. Let me pull this image up and give you a screenshot. There you go. Quarters. You got a difference of, let's see, 6.25 for pre-65 silver. Okay, this only lists the silver. Oh, Jesus. Well, what? Okay, I can go over here. I'll go to a USA coin book and get the proper weight for a modern clad quarter. How about that one? Here's Washington's. There you go. 6.25 for the silver. And the clads are 5.67. Nah. All right, but some of these, it's very small, especially the dimes. They're really tiny things. Let's look at let's see if we can find the dimes. Here's a Roosevelt dime, and they're 2.5 grams in silver from 46 to 64, and they dropped to 2.27 grams. So you get a difference of 0.23 grams. You really want an accurate scale if you want to be able to tell the difference between silver and copper in some of these. And yes, there are instances of silver planchets falling in later dates. Matter of fact, they made silver with a date of 1964 all the way up to 68, just to show the people, hey, they're not leaving circulation, but they're cooking the books by pumping more in. Fact of the matter is, they were yanking those things up by the truckload, by the dump truckload. Okay, let's see. There's the live. There's the chat. Good. We're back up to here. 3 decimals to weigh gold. Sure, when it's $40 per gram, 3 decimals comes in handy. Now, one thing to look for in a scale is going to be that button right there. Let's turn it on. Because this thing, I've measured, half a grain of rice with this. Okay, this can be hard to see, but over here on the far right now it says G. We're going to be hard pressed to see that. How can I get in so we can see that? There it is. Just get close enough. Well, so much for focus. Focus is going to be impossible. You have different modes. This is in grams right now. I press the mode, and now it's in ounces. Kind of useless when you're doing gold. Dude, if you're measuring gold by the ounce, go get a scale. Come on. Press the mode again. It's gone. Oh, there it is. T. There's a little T right here. What's T mean? Tons? I don't know what the hell T means. I can't even see T on there. Okay. That might be it. Carats. DWT, dram weight or dime weight, or I don't know what DWT means. I got no idea. None. I don't measure DWTs. What's this one? C, carats. You put your carrots on there, weigh them. There's another button just for like cauliflower. Okay, and you're back to grams. They're versatile. They're handy. Yeah. I've always said this is a hobby of accumulation, and one day you'll accumulate a decent scale. Tell your significant other, for Christmas, all I want is a digital scale with 4 modes, right? AA batteries, accurate to, a thousandth of a gram, baby. and you'll get what you want for Christmas. Works like a charm. Stick it in my stocking. Yeah, don't stick these in your socks. Anyway, keep these things right and tight. Turn it off when you're done. Close the cover. Store it in a cool, dark place. Feed it once a week. And before you know it, you're going to have a healthy, lively scale that you can do anything with. They're handy. Mike says, with a good scale, you could weigh wrapped rolls. Oh, yeah. People weigh the 40, not the 40, the 50, the half-dollar rolls. And you can tell by the weight of the roll, is it off? Because they are consistent, those things. There is some variance. You get a heavyweight roll, and is it silver, or is it just some coins with a whole lot of dog crap on them? Where's that poodle gone? Okay, but it tells you real quick. Here's one to look at first. Where's the poodle? I seem to have lost the poodle penny. Oh, that's a shame. That was my favorite. All right. Yep. It's handy. No need to rewrap the losers. Yeah, you got rolls. They weigh exactly right. There's no silver in there. But if all you're doing is looking for silver, honestly, you're probably throwing some good money away. Lots of money in the die varieties, believe it or not. Especially with the pennies, you got so many more things to look for. Mine also has a penny weight. Just 3.1. Just drop it in. It says 1 cent. Yep, that's what I need. I'm going to take everything on the desk, put it on a scale, and tell me how much money is in there. And then I'll just go back through and find the coins later. That's what I need. That's what I want for Christmas. Okay, guys, we've been about an hour. That's pretty good. We talked about design varieties. If you like, go back and watch the whole darn thing again. But go check out some of these other coin class videos. There's lots of good information out there. We explore a subject in depth. And if there's a subject you'd really like to hear about, explored, explained, let me know. We'll talk about it. Mike says, if you have all 90% silver coins, you can count your money by weighing them. How many ounces per dollar in half dollars? Because quarters, it's twice as many coins, but the same weight. Right? For dimes, it's 5 times as many coins, but it's the same weight. And the poodle pooper's gone. Yep. Okay, guys, I'm going to get back to work, do my thing, get my day going, because it's 10 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to let you go, and you all stay groovy, okay? DWT is pennyweight. I got that button. What's a pennyweight? I have no idea what DWT is. I don't really use it. No matter. And while I'm off for the rest of the day, I'll look it up. See you later.